Hello everyone and welcome back to my Lego room. I'm TJ the Brickride and today we're going to be going over the 15 entrants into the New Republic Walker contest, and we have some amazing entries going on right now and I cannot wait to get into it and show everybody what we got going on. So I do apologize to everybody for the lack of videos, the technical issues that we had last weekend. A lot of those were user error and that's my fault, but we fixed those problems and I have become a better person for it. But you're not here for that, neither do you care. You're here to look at some really awesome new builds from people. Hopefully everyone has had the chance to look over the entries into the contest. We posted them all as comments or as community posts on my channel. So if you want to go back and not have to watch the video all over again and want to spend some time looking at all the different pictures that people have posted, I was finally able to use my backup plan this time, which is that YouTube allows you to put 5 pictures in a comment or in a community post. And so what I have been doing for everybody is, since I asked you to send 5 pictures, we were able to do the backup system, which was to post each of those pictures in a community post with your entrant number and the description that you sent to me. But we're going to go ahead and read it here, and then everybody who would like to vote, if you already know who you're voting for, leave your votes in the comments down below. Once again, it is your top 4 picks for the regular contest and your top 1 pick for the returning Parseval bracket of the contest. So without further ado and gilding the lily, let us begin. And first up we have at number 1, Andrew, the all-terrain recon enforcer Zerark, I hope I pronounced that rightly, or ATREX, was not originally made for combat, but is actually made by Imperial Remnant engineers stationed on the planet Selos, which is actually where the planet where Captain Rex's modified ATTE was in Rebels. It was to hunt the native Jupa with its very maneuverable armed turrets and harpoon gun. I'm sorry if I pronounce words weird today. We are trying to get this out and get the voting started, so I'm probably going a little faster than I should, but I will do my best. As well as to traverse the arid desert climate comfortably, the enclosed cockpit was air-conditioned. The New Republic, after taking the planet back from the remnants, saw that the walkers were cheap to produce, so they decided to retrofit the harpoon gun on the top to be a turret, as well as add a large storage unit to the rear. This allowed them to use the walkers both in battle and for carrying cargo. I do have to say that the really tall legs is something that's hard to do in Lego, and you did a fantastic job there, Andrew. And I love the little pods on the back. We got that massive turret up top, which is probably the harpoon replacement that we talked about. If you guys have ever seen that episode of Rebels, it's so awesome. When they're out there and Zeb is out in front, it's like, yeah, Zeb's a great hunter. Yeah, he's going to be really good at catching these underground creatures. And they're like, what? Catch him? Oh, no. He's the bait. That's so awesome. Oh, poor Zeb. All right. This is fantastic, Andrew. Good job. I see a few of the old printed pieces from some old Star Wars sets on there. That's always great to see. And as I mentioned in the previous video, Andrew was one of the first entries and got the Gungan sub piece on the top there. Always a big fan of that. Never, ever got a single Gungan sub. Hopefully Lego releases another one with another Padme Amidala figure so I can get that too. But that is neither here nor there. All right, so that is number 1 on the list. Number 2 is Benjamin. This, you're going to notice a theme here for a few of these, is a Captain Rex style ATTE with large feet to keep itself from collapsing into the water underneath the surface. Oh, I'm sorry. I believe that this one is actually called the ATET. It was just a little bit, it was just flipped on the first mention of it. So this is the ATET. Things that are unique to this vehicle. Oh my goodness, I apologize. Let's slow it down a little bit. It's based off the ATTE with our AT. Oh crud, what's the one? It's based off of the AT-ST and the Gorilla Attack Walker, which is the, oh my gosh, it's a little tripod thing from the movie. I can't remember it. Oh, I'm a terrible Star Wars vehicle fan. To be fair, I don't do a lot of walkers. Anyway, sorry, that is not here. But it's got its bipedal walking system. Its basic operations use a lot of unique parts, such as the Mandalorian cockpit that we saw on the front of it, as well as some Hogwarts castle pieces and under the Mandalorian engine. as well. And oh, I got lost again. And then there's also this little section that you can see where the porgs are, where you can actually sit outside in the elements. So this is almost like a camper, right? Was that what I was thinking it was? This thing is amazing. Like, I can actually picture myself on this thing, and I gotta say, it looks pretty comfortable inside. Look at all the space that's in there. You got all these areas where you're not going to be cooped up inside like in a regular ATST or even the ATATs. Like, it was pretty tight quarters in those cockpits and stuff. So having all this open area, it'd be a totally different experience. I think even Captain Rex's ATTE wasn't nearly as roomy as this. I think it was still pretty cramped inside. And then right here, so it has a civil turret underneath the main worn cockpit and many other unique things specifically to this vehicle. It is actually part of the same group of vehicles as the Captain Rex ATTE that was used as a scout vehicle. The other vehicles and buildings that you see here, I wanted to make sure to get this in the background, are actually part of the same collective group community on that planet with Captain Rex's ATTE. Oh, maybe not on the same planet, but wherever they ended up being. The last one was on another planet. Congratulations, Benjamin. This is awesome. I love that you built not only a walker, but you built an entire ecosystem and community of ships that are all modified. I love the transparent stuff on that other ship, by the way. But that walker is definitely the main star. You can definitely see that between all the different vehicles and buildings that you have surrounding it. The walker is like the primary centerpiece of this thing. That's awesome. Congratulations, Benjamin. That was number 2. Number 3, let's get through here real quick. Back to Corey. And this is his entry for the New Republic Walker. This is the M1 BD3Z, also known as the My Buddies series of modular walkers. They're highly customizable for a variety of different theaters. When paired with another buddy, they can act as one. The follower buddy's legs, let's see if I can get to a different picture here. So this is one that kind of shows it. When paired with another buddy, they act as one. The follower buddy's legs invert to allow the lead buddy full control of movement when hauling supplies, troops, weapons, etc. With their small size, they're very useful in tight spaces such as city corridors, forests, and the like. They have powerful legs that provide great lifting capacity, speed, and maneuverability. They can be used for military, law enforcement, or even just civilian use. So in this picture right here, you can see the little ball connections that are on there. And the lead one that they have pictured is one on the left here. Has a variety of sensors, comms, and some self-defense capacity. The follower has more of an offensive loadout, but they can be equipped depending on your needs. Also, he didn't want to waste a photo on the sparse cockpit, but they do actually fit minifigures inside. As a side note, some of you eagle-eyed viewers and voters may also notice that only one of the walkers, the lead one, has articulated feet. But this was just due to a lack of parts, and he just had to make do with what he had, which I think was fantastic. And this is my favorite picture of this particular one because it really demonstrates. The other pictures, sometimes it's kind of hard to fully comprehend what's going on here. But this one, just as soon as I saw this one, it was like, oh, that's what it does. I see that. And oh, my goodness. And we'll go through the other ones real quick. But Corey's daughter also said that they were really cute, hence why he ended up calling them My Buddies, because they're like little buddies that just want to help out. How cool is that, right? We got the troop carrier and supply carrier right there. The guy's just chilling up there. It's so cool that these two walkers can work together. And that is something we have not seen in Star Wars before. We haven't seen walkers that kind of fit together or can become a pair of things that move together. And I absolutely love that, and I'm definitely going to keep that in mind as I design other ships. It's like, ooh, is there a ship that I could build that could like be 2 ships and then it comes together and picks up a cargo pod or something? There's got to be something in there, you know? But congratulations, Corey. This is a great build, and that was number 3. Number 4, we have DSM 10. The NRPW, also known as the New Republic Patrol Walker, was designed to go alongside larger walkers for extra protection. The walker has two MS-4 twin blaster cannons, same cannons as the ATST, and can comfortably fit a single pilot. This walker also has a large fuel tank on its rear, so it can travel up to 2,700 miles without needing to refuel. I would translate that into how many kilometers, but nobody actually knows what that is. That's not a real measurement. Sorry, I gotta poke fun occasionally, guys. So the NRPW is also fast with the top speed of 80 miles per hour. That is fast, fast, fast. You know, you can kind of tell that, though, from the way that it's designed. It has kind of that forward swooping snowspeeder look to it that I really enjoy. And then those legs are really beefy, but also thin enough that it doesn't look like it jumbles around a ton, that it could be real fast. It does look like a pair of legs with a snowspeeder attached on top, and it's awesome. It looks like it could wail really fast. I love the minifigure inclusions on these ones. They look great. Those minifigs look so good. That would be really neat if we saw some New Republic troops in some of the movies and stuff. I think that would be a really good option for their design. So, I mean, as simplistic as this walker seems at first, you look at it and go, you look at it for a little bit, and it's, how did you get those angles on that thing? And I love that kind of design space that you can use in your builds when you can just get these hidden angles all over the place. And man, it just looks fantastic. The blue stripes are great. Are they dark blue? They're dark blue too. See, that's how you get me every time. It's the dark blue and dark red mixed with the white. It just looks fantastic. I think the color scheme worked extremely well too. Just with the gray, white, and then the color accent. It's fantastic. And I also noticed that the Rebels tend to, usually, from my experience, they tend to have a symmetrical pattern. And a lot of times, bad guys, they have a asymmetrical pattern. And I wonder if that's because, they're a little bit off kilter, a little off balance. So this makes it look like it's a good guy ship. It's a good guy walker, and it's fantastic. Congratulations, D-Some-10. That was great. That was number 4. Number 5, we have Elijah, and this is one we have seen before. This is called the ATBC prototype, which is the All-Terrain Battle Command. I like the 6 legs. It's made from parts of the AT-AT, AT-ST, and ATTE, all the ATs, with 2 heavy ion cannons, except the ATT. 1 anti-bomber turret, 2 light forward-facing cannons, and a 360-degree upside-down turret. Ooh, that's a nice picture of the cockpit there. It also has a large communication array and motor batteries. Battery motor. This was created by a Wookiee and a man called George Zaman, who was born on Hoth to a family of scavengers, and he was very inspired by the AT-ATs they scavenged. He also salvaged for parts of a P-1 clone trooper armor. Ooh. He was found by Poe Dameron, who was on a mission when he was shot down by a TIE fighter. George helped Poe fix his X-Wing, and Poe recommended George to join the Resistance. I think it's George. It's Jorge. I know we have a lot of Spanish speakers around here, and sometimes that's Jorge, but I think it's George. Sorry, Elijah, if that was the case. So here we have, there's George right there with his salvaged Phase 1 armor. I love the Phase 1 armor. I have Phase 1 armors right that sit behind me, and they are never moving because I really like Phase 1 armor. Phase 2 is pretty cool too, but Lego spoiled us with Phase 2. Okay. And then he met his main companion, his Wookiee friend, on his first mission, which was a salvage mission on Bracca, where he met his best friend named the Wookiee named Trorm. Trorm? Sweet. So here we go. Here's our crew of the 6-legged all-terrain battle command. I really do like that you went the same route that I did with the ATTC, which is going with the 6-legged walker. It's a command station. It's not really an assault platform. It definitely is more of it's a base. It's a mobile base. And I really like that. I like that you had a character who built it themselves. I like your Chorm, the companion. We've got the cockpit looks pretty good. I like the angle on that little console there, and the pilot isn't perfectly centered. Maybe that's just where you put him to look good in the picture. But oh man, I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about that a lot. And then of course we get the walker, and I like it. I like the shaping of it. The articulated head is props. My ATTC doesn't even have that. So good job, Elijah. That was number 5. And number 6, we have Everett. And Everett built a New Republic walker for peacekeeping. And it's called the ATPK, the All-Terrain Peacekeeper Walker. It's about the size of an ATRT, the smallest of all our entries. The ATPK has a small rotary cannon for peacekeeping, of course. It can fold up for easier transport and deployment. It was made possible by some stolen blueprints of a prototype walker designed by Kuat Drive Yards and revised by New Republic engineers and mechanics to fit the role that was needed. Okay, so a couple things real quick. When I first saw this, when it was folded up, I was like, oh, can it not stand on its own? That was like one of the first pictures that it pulled up when I opened the entry. And I was like, oh, he's got some clear bricks on there. Oh, that's too bad that it didn't balance out. And then it's like, oh, it totally does. I love the fact that you took the idea of the ATRT, which is a small walker, gave him a windscreen because, yeah, those things are fast and you're really exposed on the top of that thing. But I love this because you're not exposed when you're on this. Man, and this is one of those things where I would love to see if I could puzzle build it just from the pictures you sent. Because it's great. I love your peacekeeping rotary cannon on the bottom. I thought that was a nice little inclusion on that one. And it's just really good. It's slightly more enclosed than an ATRT. You've got a small communications array like the ATRT used to have. So it's, it's a patrol vehicle. And as funny as it was to say the peacekeeping rotary cannon, it's not the main focus of the walker, which I like. When you look at it, you don't first see the gun every single time you look at it. You see a little walker, and the weapon on it, it looks a lot more like it's just there because you might need to defend yourself once in a while. It doesn't look like it's out there to mow down the enemy or anything like that. So congratulations, Everett. Good job. Good inclusions. And if you look really close in this picture, you can actually see that the cannon flips around for its compact storage and transport. So good job, Everett. Way to build the smallest walker in here and take the inspiration from the ATRT. Nobody else was doing that. We were all going for a little bit bigger. Mine was definitely bigger. Hopefully I'll be able to show you guys my I'm really bad at legs. I have the top part and I have the feet and I don't have the legs attached. It's very frustrating. Anyway, Everett, you were number 6. So congratulations. Number 7, we have Garfield Bricks. This is the all-terrain battle enforcer, the ATBE. It's a walker made for long hours, plowing through enemies and taking out the last remnants of the Empire. On its right hand, it's armed with one large blaster cannon and one repeating blaster cannon. On its left arm is a composite beam laser cannon. Ooh, like a Death Star style. It has 2 large energy storage containers on its back. Oh, those are energy storage. Okay, perfect. And these are heavily armored, so it can't be hit and immediately combust. Yeah, you learned. That's good. My Cyclops walkers have kind of an exposed. They have exposed energy pods. They're shielded. They're ray shielded. It's all fine. It's all fine. It also has 2 floodlights on the front for lighting up the battlefield in low light operations. On the interior, there is a small communication system in the main console and a holographic display console as well. Ooh, look at that. That's a nice looking cockpit. Maybe I just like the grills. I love the 1x2 grills that Lego made. They're perfect for the kind of scenario. It gives you a nice tile floor look, but also makes it look industrial. I really like it. There's our energy containers on the back. Ooh, man, I can almost picture it. So you see the caps on the very top, And then the wheel that we see there is actually just a surrounding armor as well as the bottom section. So you actually take that cap off the top, and then the energy is stored inside of that. So they're heavily shielded. I like that idea. I always wondered why Star Wars didn't make more stuff out of the same legs as the Walker, but apparently they are shielded, which is why on Scarif they were able to take out the legs of one of the ATACTs with an ion cannon and disable the Walker. Wow, that looks awesome. For when I first saw this picture, I actually thought that the BD-1 head was part of it, and I'm like, oh, that's clever. Because if you look at it, it almost looks like the head of the BD-1 is there, that it's the body. Anyway, it got me for just a second until I got into the rest of the pictures, but this looks awesome. I really like it. And again, we're hitting with the blue color scheme. I'm definitely a fan of blue. That's definitely my favorite color. Yep, it's official. I'm declaring it. And then the cockpit, man, it's really good. You guys always knock it out with the cockpits. It always looks comfortable for the guys. And it's very frustrating because I struggle to make my cockpits look really comfortable. They always are very utilitarian. Okay, this is where you sit and this is where your hands go. And I'm going to fill in the rest of it as much as I can with gizmos and gadgets. It's like a little mermaid in here. All right, Garfield bricks, you are number 7. Number 8, we have Lego EXE. And this one is the closest to what I was designing. This is the all-terrain siege walker, the ATSW. It was designed by Rothana Heavy Engineering during the Galactic Civil War, but was never mass-produced due to the great performance of the ATST. Several Rothana engineers defected to the Rebel Alliance while salvaging the blueprints of the ATSW. Well, actually, it does say UTSW multiple times, but it must mean something else. Because it says all-terrain siege walker, which would be ATSW, but you put UT. I don't know why. Maybe it'll have a clue later on. The Alliance wasn't able to mass-produce the walker due to limited resources. The New Republic found its design well-suited for large-scale urban sieges and began mass-producing UTSWs in 6 ABY, 6 years after the Battle of Yavin. I think, isn't that? That's right in line with the second Death Star, right after the second Death Star. It was used in and excelled during the liberation of Coruscant. Oh, man. Have you guys ever heard of the Duel of the Fates script? Oh, it's what could have been. It sat a single driver who had control over 2 light laser cannons, 1 heavy repeating blaster cannon, and various munitions/missile launchers. The standard loadout was 2 guided bunker buster missiles mounted at the top of the vehicle. Its top speed was 65 kilometers an hour, while its armor held up well against small and light arms fire. Oh man, it's always fun to see made up stats for your things, like 65 kilometers per hour. I mean, whatever a kilometer is, it must be some fake made up Star Wars distance. And that's it. So this thing is armed to the teeth, but it was actually used in the liberation of Coruscant after the Battle of Endor, it seems. I'm pretty sure it was 6 ABY was the Battle of Endor. I could be wrong. But man, that fits nice and snug. One thing, man, I really do like the fact that you have the cockpit on top and on bottom, so it gives it a very symmetrical pod look on the front. Oh, that's so cool. The feet look amazing. The legs are like perfect for this walker. I love the way they connect on that circle in the back. Lego EXE just killing it over here. Good job. You got the cannons on the legs that are working there. You've got the the peacekeeping rotary cannon. I think I'm gonna call every one of those that from now on. I even have little clone troopers for my game that have handheld rotary cannons, and I'm gonna call them peacekeeping rotary cannons from now on. PKRCs, peacekeeping rotary cannons. I gotta write that down. That's really good. I got a PKRC. Perfect. So we got our peacekeeping rotary cannon, we got our 2 light laser cannons, and then we've got our missile launchers, right? Missile launchers on the top. Yeah, bunker buster missiles on the top. This is really well done. I'm very impressed and jealous. You guys just knock it out of the park every time. All the entries today are just so good. I really wish I could have gotten mine in there. I question why not putting the X-Wing canopy on top like I did. But yeah, going with the heads-up display, it's going to be a lot better than transparent steel in the end. So good job. That round section where the legs connect is just a really good solution for the problem of connection points. Good job. That was number 8. Number 9, we have Nimbus Bricks. Backstory: the all-terrain open scout walker, the ATOS, which was a repurposed industrial walker the New Republic was able to purchase and modify in mass at a low cost from the mines of Kessel. The open design of this former spice and equipment hauler made it less scary and intimidating sight than its infamous predecessors. It made it so the citizens would now see the faces of the soldiers protecting them instead of cold, harsh metal and armor. The open troop compartment sacrificed protection of its troops for better vision. The long legs at least made the crew protected from most mines, not the kind the dwarves dig in. That you actually put that in the note. That's not my bad jokes. I mean, and it's a really good joke, not like whoever came up with kilometers per hour, whatever that is. The ATOS was the vehicle of choice for the New Republic's elite Pathfinder units when patrolling or during reconnaissance. The ATOS could be airdropped using the BAAD, which was the dropship of choice for the New Republic. Yeah. That cockpit is fantastic. The flip forward or flip up cockpit is pretty impressive. It's incredible that a guy can actually fit inside that. That thing looks so small, and yet it is so functional. It's really well done. And I will give Nimbus Bricks this. Actually built in the carrying pod for the BAAD so that it could be dropped in from the BAAD. Oh my goodness, that was so cool. Well, when I saw that, I went, wait a minute, what? That wasn't a requirement. No, it wasn't. Just did it. That's pretty cool. And it actually fits really good. Like, at first you'd say, oh, this walker isn't very big, but look, we got 4 guys in there. We got tons of cargo that can be delivered. And it's a small enough walker that, honestly, if it gets disabled or something, you could get a bunch of guys over there to help get the pilot out, to carry the cargo out. It wouldn't be as huge of a loss as it was like during the Clone Wars with the ATTEs when they would get hit by the missiles, the Hailfire droids. Whew. Yeah, that was a devastating loss, especially if it was full of troops. This one, your guys can see things coming. They can hop out. I mean, there's a lot of really cool advantages to doing this type of a walker, especially an open-air walker. So, congratulations, Nimbus Bricks. That was a great job. And we're going to move on. You were number 9. Number 10 is Psy. And we've seen Psy before. Now we're going to learn more about the walker from their own words. This is the All-Terrain Tactical Assault Walker. The ATTAW. Oh, something else. I don't think anybody repeated a single acronym in this entire contest. It's pretty cool. The ATTAW is based on the ATTE from the Clone Wars era. It is a lighter, cheaper, and more efficient walker than the ATTE. Well, obviously. I mean, it's a lot more streamlined and not as many legs. So it's going to be a little bit more efficient. The ATTAW was designed by a worker who designed the ATTE during the Clone Wars at Rathana Heavy Engineering. I always love it when you guys include the engineers and the companies behind them. It gives you a little bit of a leg up, I think, when you're designing. You're like, okay, who designed this? The structure has 2 cockpits, each for the pilot and turret operator. The pilot is in control of the walker's movement and controls 2 light laser cannons. The turret operator controls the upper heavy laser cannon. The upper laser cannon was mainly used as an anti-aircraft turret and ground support. It has a bright spotlight at the front, and the pilot has, for controls, has 2 joysticks to control the movement of the walker, along with a few electronic gauges. The turret operator has a targeting screen and a few controls to man the turret. There we go. There's the targeting computer. Now, we talked about this before. This was one of the other early entries who we did a little mini preview for, and I didn't use any of their notes. I just went completely off of what I was looking at and was seeing on their walker. And my goodness, this was a fun one because although it is pretty heavily armed, like you look at that cannon on top thing, that thing's massive. Like in real life, it could be a kilometer long, whatever that is. But what I really like, and I will reiterate this, is that it's got the friendly colors. It's a four-legged walker. It almost looks like a little bit of a beetle, just like the ATTE. So that was like, did I just say ATTE? Okay. Note to self, make a funny-looking walker called the ATTE. Goodness gracious. Like the ATTE, it has that kind of a beetle look, which is a little bit more friendly than the giant metal camel things of death. But with that giant cannon on top, originally people would be like, oh man, is that a little bit scary? But it's very clearly an anti-aircraft weapon. It is a purely defensive thing. So when they see that coming, they're going to be more relieved than anything. The only people who are going to be afraid of this thing showing up are going to be the people who are flying in. So congratulations again, Sai. I think you did a fantastic job in giving us a walker that gives us a really good feeling of the New Republic. I love the details on the controls that you were thinking, really, really trying to think through how this walker would work, who would be piloting it, how they would pilot it, and really executing it quite well. So congratulations, Sai. That was number 10. Number 11, we have Sam. This is what Sam says about their walker is that the New Republic was in a time of peace and needed a walker not to kill and destroy, but to do the exact opposite. My walker, the DRV, Disaster Rescue Vehicle, has a removable water tank and fire suppression system, an actual working walking system, and a raising and lowering scoop and bulldozer blade. When other walkers arrive on the scene, people scream in terror because the battle is imminent. But when the DRV arrives, it brings smiles to many faces. This vehicle would be used on many rural worlds. Rural worlds. I think I said it right the first time. As a post-war and crisis response walker, the Star Wars fire truck is used to clear rubble from the wreckage of the Galactic Civil War and to move in a new era of peace to the galaxy. All right, first things first. Everybody needs to say rural worlds 5 times fast. Rural worlds, rural worlds, rural worlds, rural world. Dang it, got me. Sam, this is a pretty cool walker. So, my understanding is that the walking mechanism actually functions. I don't know if you actually had a motor in it to actually make the walking mechanism move. Hopefully, we get a video for this because that would be amazing. You may have included it in your email. I can't remember, but I can't include that kind of stuff. That's not the format that we've got going on here. But for goodness sakes, Sam, if you have a video of this, just make sure I have it. If you sent it to me, just say, hey, I sent it to you. If you have it yet, send it to me because I want to see that work because that would be amazing. So it's a double-decker type walker. It's got all these different attachments and all these different mechanisms to it. It's very streamlined. I love the red and yellow with the gray. What does that make me think? It makes me think of a construction vehicle. Even more than that, it even brings to mind a mining vehicle. And I mean, with this particular configuration with the blade on the front, it definitely gives a construction feel to it. I love that it's double-decker. We have not seen things like that very much, especially since they got rid of that one from The Last Jedi. Not that it would have made the movie better, but it would have been interesting to see it. I really want to see how this works. This looks cool. Yeah, I can kind of understand how it works, but at the same time, I don't think I have any idea, and I would want to see it in action because this thing looks pretty cool, Sam. Good job. So that was number 11. That's Sam with the Disaster Rescue Vehicle. All right, and then we're coming up on our last entry into the regular section of the contest, and that is number 12 by Tanalorian. This is the ATMT, or All-Terrain Multi-Transport. So isn't Now, there is an ATMT from the Separatists, but I can't remember what that stands for. But this is the All-Terrain Multi-Transport. It's a New Republic vehicle that aided in transporting various assortments of cargo through rough or often dangerous terrain. It has one medium laser cannon positioned at the walker's front. However, various cargo can give it an edge, such as the heavy laser cannon attachment. It can also carry cargo shipments, passengers, or the winch attachment can also carry specific vehicles. It has a main cockpit in the front. However, a second navigator can be put in a secondary cockpit. Slane and Corporal, the people behind the beaming, developed the Walker out of the ATDPs and ATAPs. That's it. That's the three-legged Walker. It's the ATAP. Thank you so much, Tanalorian, for reminding me what the heck that was. I'll have to go. I have to apologize to Benjamin. That was the what I was looking for. So the ATDPs and the ATAPs left over from their particular wars. Overall, the Walker was made for peacekeeping and exploration of hostile planets. The Walker could even be rented by planetary citizens for hauling cargo or parades. Sweet. So here we go. Here's the ATMT with the optional turret on the back, optional hardpoint. This looks like a cargo attachment, and has the ATAP third leg for heavy duty transport. Fantastic. There's the winch. He's got a little speeder on there. Holy cow, did you design a new speeder too? Man, bonus points. And bonus points aren't worth anything, but you can feel better that you got them. There's been a lot of bonus points given out today. So I love the winch attachment. That's really cool. Man, that is so smart. Like, just the modularity of this thing is pretty impressive. And it looks really good too. You got the cool angles. You got the different attachments. Like, I love this guy working on it. I love that the wrenches fit on studs. It makes it fun. Makes you think the studs are all like giant hex nuts or something. Yeah. Congratulations, Tanalorian. That is a really good build. And as you guys know, I'm a sucker for modularity. Like, that's why most of my stuff, they either have to have a moving working feature or be modular. And this one not only is modular, but it has some moving working modular pieces. So that's pretty good. This is definitely up my alley of something I would try to design. And I got to say, did a fantastic job, Tanalorian. All right, and that was number 12. Now we're going to move into the Parseval section of walkers. We might spend a little bit less time in this area. But you guys are welcome to go back through the community posts that I have up. And while they didn't post in order, I just had to do a dump of all of them at once. They didn't post in order, but they are all there as of last time I checked. Let me know if any of them are missing. All right. That was number 12. This is letter A. So remember to pick your top 4 from the last one in ranked choice order. So your first place is your first choice. Second place is your second choice, third and fourth. And I will actually assign them points, and we're doing ranked choice voting on this one. So letter A is Kenton. And he brings in the same colors as the previous model that he did. The Starfighter, it was the dark turquoise. And he's trying to decide if he wants to keep going with the dark turquoise or light bluish gray with white. But I got to say the dark turquoise is really nice. And you have just enough on here to make it look like a legitimate accent, even though I know there's probably not a ton of those kinds of pieces out there. So the full name of the walker is the HTP, which stands for Hold the Position, which is pretty cool. This one definitely goes on to that beetle type look, but I've got some other thoughts as well. So it functions as a transport of small numbers of troops. It can defend a position. It can produce a lot of energy for different use. It has a giant exhaust in the back there. So it can actually be used as a mobile power station, it sounds like, for like, obviously not maybe for an entire city like an aircraft carrier can, but it could definitely be used to power, small villages or defensive facilities and things like that. The crew has 4 troops, 1 pilot, 2 gunners, 1 in the front, and 1 in the 360 turret. So it's got, okay, so we got to start talking about this. So Kenton kept everything really short, just gave us the bare minimum of facts on this thing. So we're going to have to look through this. And just admire his work. So here we go. Here's a good picture of the inside. This picture shocked me because of how spacious it was inside. That was impressive. Then we had, sorry. I wasn't watching how many pictures we were at. We have the little side door that's open right there that you can see. There's I think Kenton sent me a couple other pictures that I wasn't able to include in here because these ones were just so great. I really liked these pictures. But this gives me really hardcore ghost inspiration. Obviously, the turret at the top, the bubble turret, the shaping of this thing, it feels like a Corellian walker. The cannons up at the front are insanely cool. They are massive. It looks like they do have a little bit of articulation. They can go up and down and probably a little bit side to side. Not a ton, but just enough so that you can have auto-targeting programs on your vehicle. Man, the shape is just really cool. I like the new oval tile pieces. I don't know where you got those from. The turquoise is always neat to see. This is another really good build from Kenton, and that's why Kenton's back in the Parseval categories, because he does really good work. We can also see, like, right here, it really gives me Ghost vibes, because you've got the rounded section on the edges, and then you have that center section that came up and then flattened out along the back, where it went back to where the Phantom was stored. So I would be shocked if Kenton wasn't partially inspired by the Ghost on this particular build, but the implementation was fantastic. I love the oddly shaped windows at the front, using the tiles and wedge plates to make that work. It was really good. I'm not sure what cockpit that is, but that works pretty darn good too. And you got the forward gunner that mans those two massive cannons, the pilot right behind him, and then the turret gunner in the back. Man, very good. And then that opens up quite a bit. That's very impressive. All right, Kenton, that was letter A. Letter B, we have Mustafarian. And this is the New Republic S4 cargo walker. The New Republic was focused on peace, so instead of making a traditional military walker, Mustafarian went in the direction of a construction/cargo walker that would be used by the New Republic to build up bases and infrastructure. Its features are a 4-legged walker. Cargo floor can accommodate 4 small pallet items or 2 large pallet items. Has a sliding crane. Oh my goodness, the crane slides. That's awesome. So sliding crane, a crew of 5, a pilot, cargo manager, crane operator, and 2 security personnel, 2 light anti-personnel forward guns, and 2 mounted heavy rifles. So just very light defense. This thing is definitely built to mostly just move cargo. It can defend itself if it has to, if it's carrying something precious. But I imagine this thing probably wasn't used to carry things through through enemy terrain, but more about carrying really heavy items from one place to another. Here we have our cockpit, which again, man, this cockpit, it reminds me of my car for work, because inside it, it's a Ram ProMaster City. And if you guys have ever sat inside it, you sit inside it and it feels like you're driving around like half of a room, because there's so much space, like so much headroom, so much just open air inside it. It's crazy. And so that's what I imagine this thing would feel like when you're driving it. It'd be really comfortable. You can stretch, you can get up, you can stand up next to controls if you can put it on autopilot or something like that. And then you can walk back into the cargo area to go check on things if you need to. And it's really easy to get there. Not a lot of external exposure that you have to go through. Another fun thing about it is I have that exact same window configuration on my cargo ship, which I actually have built digitally, and I'm working through the instructions. I have another set of instructions that I'm working on first, though, and we're getting through a few pages at a time, but it's complicated work. But you guys will see instructions coming from me again soon. So Mustafarian, great job. This thing, man, I love that spine. It looks so good. You can even see at the very front of the spine, between the cockpit and that first section, there is a small opening, and I'm guessing that's where you walk through to get into the front. The sliding crane is just really a cool idea, and I wish I had thought of it first. Do we get to see it slid at all? A little bit. Not really. Man, that thing is, man, sliding crane idea. On the spine. Ugh. The solutions you guys come up with for problems and needs in Star Wars are just so cool. All right, so that's letter B, Mustafarian. All right, and then we come up to the namesake of this particular category, the Parseval category, and this entry is letter C for Parseval. C is for Parseval. I skipped kindergarten. Did you guys know that? Or I was kicked out, or I had to take it twice. I can't remember which one it is. Here's Parseval's entry for the New Republic Walker contest, the ATAA. Apparently, he says that the name already exists in Star Wars, but, hadn't come up with a different name yet. So the advantage of putting an anti-aircraft turret on a walker is that it would be much more stable, like a repulsor lift vehicle would be constantly moving around when it's shot because of the strong recoil. I definitely agree, and we've seen that on other walkers previously as well. The anti-aircraft is a common theme, and we're all thinking along the same lines there, I think. Because its purpose is solely defensive, it doesn't need to partake in fast attacks. The slow speed is not really a problem. Yeah, so this is definitely a heavy, slow-moving walker. I know they said the AT-ATs could go like 35 or 45 miles an hour, but they are not going that fast in the Battle of Hoth. I don't even know what you'd have to do to get it to go that fast. The design is inspired by warship turrets and flat guns from World War II. Nice. He also mixed the Empire and Rebel design language, meaning a lot of round parts, but also some angular. So this, that sticker on there, or print for the New Republic logo, that gives it half of its ability right there. That back section as well, with the pilots stuck in there, and that it's got an open back. This thing is definitely meant for defense and from one direction only. But a lot of times that's how it was. Half the AA guns in World War II were completely just open. Like they had no protection at all. At least these ones are a little bit protected. The armament is an automatic rapid-fire twin laser guns with radar. They heat up pretty fast, so they integrated an effective cooling system in the turret. The crew is one gunner and one driver, and they get in by using the ladder on the back, which you can see. Oh, there they are. This is a close-up of the cockpit. Look how tight that is. Wow. So I'm both impressed by builds that have really wide open and very comfortable looking places, like where you just lay out there, like I was mentioning in my car. And then there's other ones like this where it's so tight, you're like, how did you even get it that close? Because that's also really impressive and frustrating, because I can never get the ratios right when I try to do that. Everything I do has to be built around a block of 2 by 2 by 3 bricks high for a minifigure to sit inside and then try to squeeze their arms in somewhere. And it never looks nearly as planned or efficient as this. And those seats are awesome. Man, they're so simple, and yet they look so good. We don't even see them from the front. We only see them from behind. And they'll still look great. Parseval, darn it. You give me more ideas than I can handle. So I love that the whole turret can rotate. It can actually rotate. You can get the guys in and out from the little ladder in the back. Just little thoughts like that. The design of the legs is good. The little pistons inside the middle of the legs. You guys got to stop showing me up, I'm supposed to be good at this stuff. You guys are making it hard. Well, congratulations, Parseval. That was great. And congratulations to everybody who has jumped in and participated in the New Republic Walker contest. All right, so remember, you're going to be taking your top 4 choices for the New Republic contest and putting those in the comment down below in a single comment from you, your top 4 for the regular section of the contest and your top 1 for the returning winner category. I have been working on a couple other prizes for people who win, hopefully, and also for people who just participated. So hopefully I'm able to finish that up and get that out in time for the ending of the contest and the announcement. I do have one thing I'm going to be doing on Saturday. It's kind of important. I have a wedding in the family, but I am going to take time to come in and talk to you and announce the winners. We are going to be stopping the voting. We're going to let it go a little bit longer than usual. I usually end it the night before on Saturday, but this time we're actually going to end it at noon on Saturday. And then I'm going to make the video with the announcements, categorizing and compiling all of the votes. I'll make that video. It's going to be a short one, but then we'll have that announcement, and the contest will officially be over, and we'll have our winners. So congratulations to everybody who participated. This is fantastic, and I can't wait to see what you guys are able to come up with in the future in our next contests. And until then, play well. Bye.